While we wait for Kamigawa spoilers to start, Wizards has given a few formats a shakeup with new bannings and restrictions. Pauper has a place near and dear to my heart, and I thought we'd take a look at how the banning of Atog, Prophetic Prism, and Bonder's Ornament has affected the meta about a week into it. Today, we're going to be heading over to a fantastic site I use quite often called MTG Top 8. As you might have guessed it, this site posts the top 8 decks for tournaments for a wide variety of formats and calculates the percentage of decks that are placing in the top 8 of a given format. If we look at some of the tournaments that have happened since the banning, the decks are quite diverse thus far. While I would anticipate it to take a little bit longer for the meta to be quote-unquote solved, the variety of decks showing up early on does indicate a much healthier meta. Taking a look at these decks, we have Goblins, Jeskai, or blue and white Flicker decks. We have several combinations of the blue Delver decks, Tortured Existence decks, mono white aggro, Burn, mono green aggro, Urzatron Control, and more. I'm sure we'll see some of these decks slot into the tier 1.5 or tier 2 slot as time goes on, but so far I'm enjoying the format quite a bit. Now, Affinity still exists, even without some of its key pieces. The Affinity shell seems very similar to previous iterations, with cards like Bleak Coven Vampires, Gear Seeker Serpent, Frogmite, and Krark Clan Grunt trying to fill the hole Atog left behind. While it's still a top-tier deck, anecdotally, playing against Affinity doesn't feel nearly as oppressive as before. We'll see if that remains to be the case as the meta shakes out. Now, the best part about Pauper, in my humble opinion, is that this format is still incredibly affordable, with decks in these lists topping out at around $100, and some for going as low as $10 on MTGO. Even the paper versions of these decks are pretty reasonable to buy. Maybe it's too early to tell, but I'm feeling very optimistic about this format. I hope the Pauper panel keeps up enthusiasm, and I hope to see you in the MTGO Pauper queue. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and check out more content at brothersbrawl.tech.